Christian Thompson, as you all know already, and this is for professional seminar. And today I'm going to be talking about the recent Ebola outbreak and its effect on today's world and technology. So if you guys don't know already about Ebola, its official name is called the Ebola virus disease, or EBV, and it's also called the Ebola hemorrhagic fever, and it's severe and often fatal to people. The virus is transmitted through wild animals to humans, and then from human to human contact in everyday society. But it originally comes from animals in the wild, and currently they have the estimated fatality rate around 50%, but it's ranges from 25 to 90%. So yeah, you don't want to get this. So where it comes from is originally occurred in the remote regions, in villages in Central Africa, but it's come back since 1976 was when it was first discovered, and it was discovered recently in a small village called in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, called right next to the Ebola River. So that's where the modern day Ebola comes from. And yeah, the current outbreak is in Africa. It's the most severe outbreak to date. More people have died from this outbreak in 2014, since including all of the previous cases combined since 1976. It started in 2000 March this year, and Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria and Liberia are the affected countries for the most part, but mainly Guinea and Sierra Leone. Those are the two most heavily impacted countries. There's a few, that are, close by. If you share borders with these countries, you're more likely to get this kind of disease. But it hasn't spread too far outside of West Africa, especially to North America or anything like that. But it has large potential. So it's really affecting these countries with weak healthcare systems. These people don't have access to healthcare at all. I mean, pretty much it's a brand new thing to these countries. The World Health Organization director declared this like a complete outbreak. I mean, this is not just the U.S. saying it's an outbreak. This is internationally recognized concern. And also, there was a separate outbreak that happened somewhere else in the DRC that was not even close to where the initial outbreak happened, but that one was very isolated. And there are multiple different strains of the Ebola virus, but only the Zaire strain is the one that's been causing problems for everyone. That's the one that's been spreading around, been killing a lot of people in West Africa. And so the virus is transmitted mainly through wild to human contact, but the human contact just keeps it going once it already has affected people. So it's originally come from bats, chimpanzees, gorillas, stuff like that in the forest, and that's where the main area was when it was first discovered, right next to a rainforest. So it makes sense, these people were interacting with the wild animals that were dead or were already sick. So yeah, you don't want to be in human contact with these people, because it contracts very quickly, either through bodily fluids or open membranes, like cutting the skin or through the mouth or something like that. So the disease is nasty. It's very nasty, and the incubation period, in case you don't know what that is, that's the time it takes from you first contacting the virus until you actually experiencing the effects. And so yeah, for the first 20 days, you probably wouldn't even know you had it. But as soon as you get it, Um, effects get bad. Start off with fatigue, muscle pain, stuff like that, and then end up with vomiting, diarrhea, stuff like that, internal bleeding. I think it's really bad. Often fatal. So yeah, so when it comes to controlling this, it starts with community. It really does. I mean, locally. There's nothing you can really do internationally about this. It's just starting from where the virus is currently located and moving out toward there. So community engagement and support is the most important. Raising awareness is also important because you want people who are around these areas to know exactly what's going on. So yeah, and we're also there hasn't been a proven vaccine yet, but there are vaccines in the work. We got 2 or 3 that are right now trying to be licensed, but they're not yet professionally recognized. So yeah, the main prevention is you can do it through multiple ways, whether it's through human to wildlife, wildlife to human control, or human to human control. But either way is proven to be just as useful. So yeah, you want these people in these the literacy rates in these countries are less than 50%. These people don't even know how to read. So you need to educate them about what's going on around. Wildlife to human transmission needs to be significantly lower. You need these people to realize, hey, it's just not just a dead animal. This is something that can end your life. If you're around it. Also, the human to human, that's the main one. Having proper hygiene and avoiding close contact with people that you already know have Ebola. Washing your hands on a regular basis. Wearing gloves and full body suits when you can. This is a serious thing. In Africa, people are dying every day because of this. So yeah, technology, believe it or not, has a lot to do with fighting this. So pretty much just because an effort has a good cause doesn't mean that it's going to work right. You need to make sure it's implemented in the correct way. So it's important to know what these companies are doing. So this company already offered a bunch of 3 and 4G phones to these people trying to fight Ebola, but the point is there's no coverage in the middle of the rainforest. These people can't even fight. How are you going to communicate with each other when you can't even get signal out there? So that's something you need to keep in mind. And also, how are you going to get power for these phones and stuff that you need to fight this disease? Like, you're not going to be able to do that out in the middle of the rainforest. Same with the average person can't afford a $400 phone. It just doesn't happen. So we need to figure out ways, there works in the ways of maybe you just use the SMS part of phone capabilities that are it's much easier to set that up in an underdeveloped part of the world rather than trying to rely on these 4G and 3G networks. And yeah, as you can see right here, there's a lot more cell coverage, and especially internet coverage in America over these countries. And you look at the literacy rate. In Guinea, the most heavily hit place, it's a quarter. So these people don't even know about the disease, let alone how it works. You have to educate these people. This is where it needs to come. So yeah, that starts by creating stronger networks. We need more powerful network communication so people can communicate with each other. Yeah, you need to get your message out there and target ads. Use ads that target specific things that you want people to know. Don't make it vague. Make it super specific. And there's this group called Telegram. And it has a strong user base already in West Africa. So it would make sense to strengthen something that was already there instead of trying to create something completely new. It would just make more sense, try to make it as efficient as possible, what engineering is about anyway. So yeah, also the infrastructure, there's a bunch of groups there already, just for this, like the UN mission for Ebola response. I mean, it's already there, just try to like understand what's there and work with it, rather than just come out of nowhere and have no lost cause. But the problem is, as in with every type of thing, there's the organizations that you don't want to bother with. Just because it's a professionally recognized organization doesn't mean you need to mess with it. You want to make sure you're messing with the right one, or you an improved one. So there's a website set up through the UN where you can check out these organizations and see, oh, do I want to work with this one, or do I want to donate to this one? And see, oh, I want to make my time and my money worth it. I don't want to just waste my money. So yeah, open source development. This is the most important part, because, I mean, in America, we're all about creating things for what we need. And right now, programming could help this more than anyone realizes, because there's no one knows how to program over in the underdeveloped world. It just doesn't happen. So just because we don't know how to solve this virus already and fight it immediately doesn't mean that we can't already start creating open source formats so we can further develop this stuff. So this is a huge deal. There are already 70 organizations sharing data with each other and trying to figure out what exactly we can do to be able to handle all this incoming data and use it in a correct way. Of course, Google's already on it, working with UNICEF. So yeah, and this is also, I think I went back here. Oh, yeah. The most important thing is money. I mean, this is not cheap at all. It's just like, it costs a lot of money, whether it's technology or taking care of these people who are no health insurance whatsoever.
12.
12?
Yeah, just like
Okay. So yeah, the UN's all over this and trying to donate as much money as possible. The point is, if you're going to donate towards a cause like this, you need to make sure that you go through the UN and you understand which sites are legitimate and which aren't, and which organizations are legitimate and which aren't. Yeah. So that's the only way we're going to stop it, is to stop it in Africa itself. Trying to stop it once it's already spread is going to be impossible.